Well, my name's Vicky Estrada. I'm a 64-year-old transgender woman. 10 years ago, I transitioned from Steve to Vicky. And probably I first felt like this when I was 10 years old, but I didn't tell anybody for, my gosh, till I was 53 years old. I was terrified to tell my mom and my dad, and it turned out my dad, when I finally told him 10 years ago, he was actually much more accepting than my mother was. And my dad actually went with me to my surgery in Colorado at the time, which was totally unexpected. So 10 years ago, I, literally overnight transitioned. It wasn't quite overnight. People could kind of see something was happening with my nails and my hair and so forth, and occasional earrings and stuff. So something was going on with Steve. So eventually I went on the air on KPBS and on These Days Live, and that was the first day I was out in public in the daytime as Vicky. And instead of going home to change, I went straight to work, and that was the first day that Vicky was full-time. I never went back to being Steve. I first started when I was 10 years old. I remember my mom lit some candles on my birthday on the cake and said, "Stevie, make a wish." And I actually wished that I was a little girl at 10 years old. And I never told anybody for 43 years after that. So something finally inside just kept getting stronger and stronger, and I couldn't live as Steve anymore. It's a lot more emotional, shall we say, in the women's locker room than the men's locker room. Testosterone's dripping from the walls on the men's side. In the women, there's a lot more empathy. And I remember crying one time when I came out of the steam room because my mom hadn't accepted me. And all the women, "Vicky, what's wrong?" They all stopped what they were doing and they sat down. And he said, "Vicky, tell us what's wrong." A few months earlier, before I transitioned, I was on the men's side. And I remember having a similar cry in the sauna coming out. And I guess there's no crying in the men's locker room. "What the fuck, Estrada? What are you doing? Knock it off, be a man, be macho man. What are you doing crying?" So there's a totally different side. See, a lot of trans people, when they transition, they leave town, they go somewhere else, because the majority of us, when they transition, they get fired. They're unemployed, they end up in the street economy being prostitutes and so forth. Am I happy? Absolutely, I'm happy. And with my children and my friends, and the fact that to some people, I get emails from people around the world, I'm, for some reason, a role model to them. So just like others were a role model to me, I'm happy that I've been able to help other people with the same struggles that I had, and we can all learn from each other. But to answer your question again, am I happy? I would say there was a sadness deep inside. People would say, "What, sad-faced Stevie?" There was always this sadness inside of me. That's gone away. So there's an underlying joy that I didn't have before that now is kind of embedded in my whole psyche. So yeah, I'm absolutely happier than I was.